Russwater RPG, core mechanics. Similar concepts, differences in execution. Because the mechanics are similar to but not exactly the same as other systems that we borrow concepts or ideas from, the differences are on purpose and the world will be sometimes inconsistent and unpredictable. That is intended to be part of the fun. Core roll mechanic. D20 roll over with advantage or disadvantage. The GM interprets the outcome of the roll in the current situation. 20 equals critical success or very hard DC. 16 to 19 equals success or hard DC. 12 to 15 equals success with complication or easy DC. 8 to 11 equals failure with upside or very easy DC. 2 to 7 equals failure or trivial DC. 1 equals critical failure. 1 modifier, advantage or disadvantage. There is one main modifier in the system, advantage/disadvantage, rolling 2 dice and taking the higher or lower number. This is often done with a D20, but the same mechanic can be used with other die. Ability scores, advantage or disadvantage. The 6 ability scores are strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. A PC can have advantage or disadvantage in an ability score. For the sake of rolls that require a PC to have an ability score, advantage is seen as a 16, a flat roll 12, and disadvantage is 8. PCs choose one ability score to start with advantage 16. The rest are flat scores of 12. They can also have advantage in an ability score by choosing to have disadvantage on another. Leveling. PCs level up in milestones determined by the GM, but usually these coincide with the start of a session or after the completion of a quest or task. 20th level is the maximum level. PCs can gain advantage on one additional ability score at levels 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. Abilities. PCs start with 4 abilities plus 1 flaw based on race, background, and class. They gain 1 additional ability per level except 5, 11, and 17 where PC gets extra attack. If a player asks to have an ability that is initially inappropriate for their current level or the scenario, suggests they can have a version of the ability that is similar but initially less powerful that can grow into what they are asking for and maybe even more as they progress in level at the table. Players choosing for their new ability to be an improved version of an existing power can be a win for everyone as it helps consistency in their story narrative and others interacting with them at the table. Spells and abilities cost power level squared HP to activate, and PC rolls a D20 to assess their level of success. The idea is that PCs usually get new spells, techniques, and abilities one at a time, potentially needing to quest or adventure to get them as part of gameplay, so they can be featured, used, and enjoyed before moving on to the next one. Hit points and armor class. PCs get 5 hit points, HP, per level. PCs also have an armor class based on what armor they are wearing and how nimble they are. This armor class provides additional hit point damage protection. For instance, a PC's starting HP might be 5 HP plus armor class as additional HP like 5 HP plus 14 HP for medium armor, equals 19 HP total at level 1. Hit points are viewed as a creature's current stamina or physical health. Besides absorbing damage, spending hit points is also the main resource to power spells and other spell-like abilities and techniques in this rule set rather than using other things like spell slots. Resting. There are 2 types of rest, a 1-hour short rest and an 8-hour long rest. Rest returns the armor class hit point protection plus 5 hit points for each hour rested. Resting consecutively for 8 hours is a long rest and also reduces any levels of exhaustion by 1. Skills. Rolling for skill checks uses the core roll mechanic of the ability score associated with that skill rolling to equal or better a difficulty check number chosen by the GM. You can use a list from a game system you like 5e, Pathfinder, etc., and use their corresponding ability score. Having advantage or disadvantage on the corresponding ability score will also give advantage on those skill checks. Tools. Rolling for tool checks uses a core roll mechanic of the ability score associated with that tool rolling to equal or better a difficulty check number chosen by the GM. If the PC has advantage with that ability score, they roll with advantage. Otherwise, tool check rolls are made at disadvantage as the PC is seen to be unfamiliar with that tool. Also, the tool equipment needs to be acquired to make that roll. You can use a list of tools from a game system you like, 5e, Pathfinder, etc., and their corresponding ability score. Standard equipment. PCs can start with any clothes, weapons, armor, and equipment that suits their character. They can choose from the equipment outlined in the Young Adventurer's Guide or use an expanded equipment set. Here are links to common equipment tables. Weapons and armor. In this system, all weapons do a standard amount of damage, so choosing ones you like won't affect damage output. The armor chosen is both a cosmetic, narrative choice but also affects the PC's armor class and their ability to use some forms of movement and be sneaky.